All right. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this segment of the program from Abuja. A landmark ruling by the Supreme Court is sending shockwaves through the political landscape as Nigeria's highest court issues a strong directive to the Labour Party to resolve its internal crisis. In its judgment delivered, the Supreme Court emphasized that unresolved internal conflicts within political parties are a threat to the democratic stability and electoral integrity. The court ruled that political parties must prioritize internal democracy, respect their constitutions, and follow due process in resolving disputes. This ruling comes on the heels of several cases brought before the court, stemming from controversial party leadership primaries, imposition of candidates, and suspension of members without fair hearings, actions the court says undermine public trust and weaken democratic institutions.
The Apex Court further stated that while the judiciary has the authority to intervene when due process is violated, political parties themselves must take greater responsibility in handling internal disagreements through dialogue, fairness, and transparency. As political parties gear up for future elections, this ruling serves as a reminder that democracy begins from within. All eyes are now on party leadership across the nation. Will they heed the call? That will be our focus on the program this morning. And to add more perspective to this discussion, let's speak with the national youth leader of the Labour Party, Kennedy Ahanutu.
Yeah.
I hope I got it correct. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning. It's good to have you. Happy Monday to you. Well, let's jump straight in. The true state of affairs in the Labour Party remains unclear, even after the Supreme Court judgment, which many have interpreted to suit their own narratives. And what is the party's next step in validating the leadership of Abure, whose legitimacy, is now being questioned?
Thank you so much. And first and foremost, I want to use this opportunity once again to thank the highest court of the land for doing the right thing. Because political parties are democracies on their own. If you allow the court to decide for political parties, it may be easier for the government in the government of the day to hijack other political parties, thereby reducing the power of opposition in the country. So the Supreme Court have done what is expected for them to do. They decline jurisdiction that even them, the Supreme Court is not in position to give leadership to any political party. So therefore, go back into your house and resolve. And going back into your house to resolve, it means the party have to come together and sit. And I'm sure today the Labour Party is having a NEC meeting. I will from here join that NEC meeting to chart a way forward after that judgment. And I'm sure that reasonable decisions and resolutions will come out from that NEC meeting today.
Just before we get to the NEC meeting, sometimes it bothers me that what is the essence of a political party if you cannot wield your influence? You have members of your party and the National Assembly and the various state assembly. They are Abure-led faction. Do they really have any control over these members? So why the struggle to remain the national chairman when you can't even control?
Abure is not struggling to remain the national chairman. Abure is the national chairman of Labour Party, and there is no faction in Labour Party. I keep saying this.
There are two factions.
There are no factions.
The Nenadi Usman Caretaker Committee.
I want you to take time and read the Labour Party constitution. Where on earth does a governor generate the power to commission a caretaker committee? A governor of one state, Abia State, who gave him the authority? The Supreme Court have said, obey and respect your constitution. Then the first thing you should do is, as a journalist, go and read the Labour Party constitution. I don't want to give you one. Go to INEC. Ask INEC for Labour Party constitution, whichever one they have, if it is 2022, if it is 2009, if it is 2016, 2014, or 2019, or 2024 version of the anyone I may give you, look into it and find out if Ale Soti Abinishio has the power to even convey party leadership meeting. Not to talk of commissioning a caretaker committee. If that is possible, PDP that had up to 10 or more than 10 governors, with Atiku Abubakar would have called for a NEC meeting and commission a caretaker committee with all the crises they are having in PDP. It's not done. We must begin to call a spade in this country. There's nobody that is challenging Abure's leadership. When you accept that Abure tenure was extended from 2023 to 2024, and it was supposed to expire by June, you accepted that. Everybody accepted that. The party internal democracy have told you that party constitution must be obeyed. And given the party constitution, Abure and the Labour Party have conducted a national convention. So when you say control of elected officers, I am sorry, 2023 brought a lot of new fights into politics. 2023 brought a lot of people with selfish and personal interests that never believed in the philosophy of social democracy, that never believed in Labour Party philosophies. They were not members of Labour Party before 2023. But when they saw, I call them pepper soup, don politicians. When they saw the movement with Peter Obi and everything that's happening in Labour Party in 2023, they flocked in. Opportunists in Nigeria. Even the senator making noise that was he a pure candidate? Did he pay for that ticket? It was his principal, Senator Orogide, that came and used him as a placeholder.
But he won the election, so give him the credit.
He won the election with who? The wave. Because Nigerians wanted Labour Party. Nigerians saw that Papa Mama Pikin is where their solution lies. And Nigerians voted without looking at who is behind the ballot. And I'm beginning to appreciate some of these youths that said we must vote according to names, individuals on the ballot, not the Labour Party alone. Because if they had done that, we would have selected people in Labour Party that mean well for the country. And people that, it does not matter, but people that represent what a good governance should be in the country. So Labour Party were not opportune to have all of their candidates being a believer of the party. They never believed in the party. And that is why it will be difficult to control them. Because they came into the party with the blood of APC, with the blood of PDP, with blood of all manner of blood. They came into the party. So what we have been battling with is control of the party structure. All of them, most of them, the moment after that election they were sworn in, they came with the party. They come to the party with a request. I want to control my local government. I want to bring the chairman of my local government. I want to bring the chairman of my ward. Are these people not coming with the same philosophy in PDP and APC, where an individual will lay control of a political party? We say no to hijack.
Well, it's a good one. You mentioned that it was upon the entrance of Peter Obi that sparked a lot of interest. Well, curiously, Mr. Peter Obi, who is regarded as a political leader of the party, has not commented on the Supreme Court judgment and has not shown support for the Abure-led leadership of the party. Does this suggest that he has lost interest in the affairs of the Labour Party and might even be considering dumping the party?
I don't know the mind of His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, our 2023 presidential candidate. Like I said, most of the people fighting the party today are candidates of the party in the last election. Go and look at all the people fighting the party. The person that they are referring himself as the secretary of the caretaker committee, was a senatorial candidate that won an election. And they removed him from the court. And in the quest for relevance, he accepted an appointment. It's only in Nigeria that all manner of things happen. If I win a senatorial election and I lost, because I want relevance, I accepted an appointment to be a kangaroo national secretary of National Caretaker Committee, the illegal committee, a senator, for that matter. So if Mr. Peter Obi commented on the Supreme Court judgment or didn't comment, it's just like asking me, what have Atiku done in all the things happening in PDP? Look, there are differences between party management and administration and governance. You may be good in providing good governance, but you may not be good in management of political parties, because management of political parties does with management of different interests. Because in 2023, a lot of people wanted to be presidential candidate of Labour Party. It is a skill to harness all these people that want to be candidate of a political party to bring out one person and make him a flag bearer of the party. So Mr. Peter Obi ran election 2023. If you look at the party constitution, even the former presidential candidates are not members of NEC. So his power may be limited in terms of controlling what the party structure does.
Okay, let's
when you look at the party constitution. So he's a candidate, and in 2027, he may decide to run again as a candidate. But if he wants to contest for chairmanship of the Labour Party, or any other person wants to contest for, he have to come and take the party constitution and appear or express interest during a elective national convention of the party.
You said he may want to contest because his body language actually suggests like he has lost interest in the party and may not want to fly the flag of the party in 2027.
One thing I know about the party is that even court have said it, that political parties is free entry, free exit. You will not chase anybody out. You will not force anybody in. Today now, if I'm satisfied, a lot of people have left the party, including some of their colleagues, former governorship candidates and former candidates of the party, senatorial, be it DGs of the campaign in that 2022. So there are a lot of balancing and rebalancing that will happen. Definitely, even in PDP, even in APC, nobody knows who will run for APC in 2027. Even the vice president. There are a lot of permutations. So it happens in every political party. These permutations are bound to change. But one thing that is standing is that the law of the land has made political parties free entry and free exit. And if you are in a free organization, if what they are doing, you don't like it, you go through the process of presenting your grievances. And if it's not resolved in a way you like it, instead of causing problem, you look for another political party. It's as simple as that.
Oh, let's put some records straight in here. Even in the APC, there was a time they had a national caretaker committee managed by a former governor. When it was like the leadership, there was loss of confidence. They brought in a national caretaker committee that organized a national convention. So the Nenadi seem to be a child of necessity.
No.
Because you are in a party, like I said earlier, the national chairman Aburi does not wield influence over all the elected officials. So why do you remain? Why do you want to stick to be a chairman when you cannot influence anybody?
Will influence on all of them, on the National Assembly members.
He controls the states.
How? He controls the states. That is the point. He controls his state, not Nigeria. He controls his state. You can't compare him to a national chairman of a political party. He controls his state. He came out from your mouth.
And the national chairman does not control any states.
He controls all the states because when you come to a political party, there are state chairmen and secretaries, which are statutory members of NEC. And he controls all of them, 100%. I can show you this. The governor does not control even his state. The party structure. I've told you something at the beginning, that party management is different from state governance.
Can we go back to the Supreme Court judgment? Because the Supreme Court judgment actually said, set aside the appeal court ruling that affirmed Aburi as the chairman of the party.
I don't know why. It shouldn't be journalists that should be twisting this.
No, did the Supreme Court do that?
The Supreme Court didn't do that. The Supreme Court have said that from High Court, Appeal Court, even then, does not have power to decide. And this statement, remember that Appeal Court also made it. Appeal Court said it is not new to us.
But they confirmed that his tenure has expired.
They didn't. Who? Show me the evidence. Have you seen the CTC? The Supreme Court never said that Aburi's tenure has been expired. There is what they call obita. Supreme Court said generally that political office holders, listen to their voice note, they are parading the voice note of the judges, which is also very wrong. The Supreme Court judges say that political office holders should respect their party constitutions and know when their tenures have expired and be humble enough to step aside. Does this in any way mean Aburi's tenure have expired? I'm asking you.
Was there an appeal court ruling that affirmed Aburi in the first instance? Was there an appeal court ruling?
Appeal court did not affirm Aburi. Appeal court gave a hint, gave a direction of where the leadership of the party lies. Appeal court told them that the court does not have jurisdiction to rule on who is the leader of the party. But if they can take a clue to a judgment of the same appeal court where they mandated INEC to respect party supremacy, that have nominated a candidate, there is a judgment of the appeal court, which was never appealed to the Supreme Court. Nobody appealed that judgment. When in Ondo State, the National Transition, there has been a lot of committee in the Labour Party. National Transition Committee gave a candidate. They went to court, got a judgment that they have nominated a candidate to INEC. So INEC uploaded. We appealed the matter and told the court that we don't know these people. and we don't know the man they nominated. And we have done our primaries. This is our candidate. And the court looked at our figures and our fact and affirmed our candidate. So it was that judgment that the Court of Appeal in this other matter was referring them that they should go and take a clue in that judgment. That judgment should give them a sense of direction of where the party leadership lies. He didn't affirm Abure. Yes, he did not affirm Abure. He just told them that go and look at that. Whoever that nominated that candidate is where the party leadership lies. So who nominated that candidate? Abure.
Well, we still have more to discuss, but that will be after this short break. Don't go anywhere. We still have more after this break. Stay with us.
Life is politics. In Nigeria, almost every part of our lives is touched by the politics we play. Governance, legislative matters, the economy, security, foreign affairs, internal affairs. Have a feel as strategic plays in the political space determine how we live in Nigeria. The players, the drama, chess piece moves. Be kept informed. Watch analysis of major happenings in the political space and how it affects you. Watch Politics on Sunday.
Glad to have you back. It's still TVC Breakfast and we're live from our Abuja studio. We still have with us the National Youth Leader of the Labour Party, Kennedy Ahanotu. And now the controversy in the Labour Party revolves around whether the Supreme Court judgment implies Julius Abure is no longer the party's chairman. However, this isn't the only controversy within the party, as conflicting press statements from two different national publicity secretaries, both supporting Abure, have added to the confusion. And I'm talking about Obiora Ifo and Abayomi Arabambi. So help us clarify that. Who is the National Publicity
Obiora
Secretary?
Ifo is the National Publicity Secretary of the party. Arabambi was the former National Publicity Secretary of the party.
So how come he still signs press statements in the name of National Publicity Secretary and your party has not sanctioned him?
The party have sanctioned him severally.
Well, he continues.
Is here we're not answering national leader. That is some of those things are the rascality we are talking about. But then, what he's saying, is it correct? What Aramambi is saying is correct.
So anybody can speak?
No, not that anybody can speak.
So long as it's correct, you
not
take it.
Not that anybody can speak. For, you know, like I said from the beginning, we're in a country where everybody does what he likes. And it pains me so much because this was never what I expected when, as a young man, after the passage of Not Too Young to Run, I decided to join full-time partisan politics. And I resigned from my last place of work. And I joined partisan politics since 2016 December. This was never my idea, this level of controversy. But since I joined this party politics, I have seen that many of our leaders are not sincere. Okay. Many of our leaders are not sincere and they are selfish. And that is why the country does not have a strong institution, because they want to always be in control.
Let's talk about your idea for what a political party should be. 2027 is just around the corner. Your party is factionalized, though you won't agree there is a faction because there is one controlled by Abure, there's another one by Nenadi Usman. How do you want to present a front?
There is a mistake. If you say that there is one controlled by Nenadi Usman, do you have in any state in Nigeria 2 Labour Party factions? Have you made that research? There is no 2 Labour Party faction in every state. There is no 2 Labour faction in every local government.
In the last election in Edo State,
yes,
was Abure there to campaign for the governorship candidate?
But who was the party? Who was the party? You don't know what
the faction.
No, you don't know. There is no faction. That was when the agitation started, and the governorship candidate himself was the one that had problem with his brother Abure. Yes, because Abure said simply that my state where I came from has a zoning formula. Let's call a spade, that my state where I came from has a zoning formula, and therefore he advised the party to nominate candidates from the zone that is expected to produce the next governor. Our candidates in the last election in Edo State came from the same local government with the outgoing governor. That was the crime Abure committed. You saw how he was messed up in Edo. How many national chairman of political party was dragged on the floor in Nigeria? Abure, that man has suffered just because he wants... Abure has been in opposition all his life.
So, at what time will you advise Abure to take a bow for the sake of the survival of Labour Party?
Taking a bow depends on what is at stake and what is involved. If you want me to take a bow when I am being marched down, when my right is being trampled upon, even God will not forgive me.
Well, one critical group...
If you want me to step aside, you come into the house and sit down with me and give me facts and tell me this is the strategy we have to go as a family. It's a family affair. My son cannot go outside and insult me and expect me to keep quiet. He must come into the house and say, Daddy, this is what is happening. This is how I want. At this point, you have to stop driving. Let me be driving. Your age, your sight, your deteriorating in health, I don't want you to drive again. Let me be the one driving. If tomorrow you see that car and you see the boy driving and you see the father and the car owner or you see him in front, you know there is an agreement between a father and son that I will no longer drive. But if my son wants to drag my car with me, I will tell him that I'm his father.
Well, one critical group within the Labour Party is the Obedient Movement. And interestingly, the Abure-led leadership of the party does not really enjoy the support of this influential group. Most of the Obedients seem more inclined towards the Nedi, Usman and Alex Oti faction. However, the Labour Party's prospects without the Obedient Movement is quite uncertain.
I don't want you to see it that way.
Okay.
In every election, if you look at the voters, it's only about 3% of the voters that are members of that political party. In every election. After candidates are nominated, the dynamics change. After nomination of candidate, be it presidential, governorship, after that nomination, from that nomination, the dynamics of election changes. It's no longer about the political party. It's now about the candidates that have emerged. It was after the emergence of Mr. Peter Obi that Labour Party had the influence of support groups, including the Obedient Movement we are talking about. And 85% of the Obedient Movement are not members of Labour Party. And they don't believe in Labour Party. So if you tell me today they are inclined to anybody, I will not blame them. Labour Party have tried to warehouse them to become members of the party so that we begin to introduce them into the structure of the party. And this is where I'm advising my generation. You cannot correct something from outside. I became a local government secretary of Labour Party, of a local government. I became a director of ICT of Labour Party. This doesn't take 1 year. It doesn't take 2 years. I became deputy national secretary of Labour Party. I ran for House of Reps under Labour Party in 2019. Then I have now been elected as national unit of the party. But some of our generation wants to emerge within 1 year. My brother, did you get to where you are today as analyst for TVC in a day? Is it in 1 year? Is it in 2 years? You have taken time to grow in TVC and to get to this point. Even if it's not in TVC, you must have taken time to grow in another organization, and maybe they consider you to employ you at the level they brought you in. But you must have grown in your career. So, but we have generation of people that they want to marry a wife today, they want that wife to give birth today, and they want that child to grow today.
So are you saying that the Obedient Movement shares blame in what is happening within the party?
Yes, because they refuse to. They are throwing jabs on the party without coming into the party. If the Obedient Movement will go into the party structure, like I advised them severally, emerge as party members, emerge as party ward officers, ward leaders. From then, they've hijacked the party because it's like a pyramid. The moment they take over all the wards in Nigeria, give them 4 years. Give them 4 years. They will take over all the states. Because from the ward, they will decide who will become the local government chairman. From local government, they will decide who will become the state chairman. Then, when the neck is called, it will be easy for the Obedient Movement to now bring that scent, I say and I repeat, that scent from heaven that will now be the national chairman of the Labour Party.
Okay, help me understand this dynamic. Some persons say that Peter Obi is from the south, and Abure is from the south also. And one of the reasons why you're having that seeming conflict is because when you want to emerge for presidential election, it's difficult for the national chairman and the presidential candidate to be from the same south or the same northern zone. Could this be one of the reasons why some forces want Abure out so that Peter Obi can have a smooth sail?
It's a good question and a technical one, and I can tell you that possibly it could be one of the reasons. But the answer is this. Are we in 2027?
Just close to.
It's not just close to.
Road to 2027.
2 years. We are not in 2027, and this crisis started since last year. I remember after the election, after the appeal court judgment, even His Excellency said that what we are going to do now, even after the National Convention of the Party, elective convention, Mr. Peter Obi said that now that the convention have come and gone, that we have to start reconciliation, reconciliation, reconciliation. He said it. Go and check the tapes. It's there. He said it. And the intention was after 2023 general election, we go on a retreat as a political party and now look at areas of weakness and areas of strength and now come up with a working document in preparation for 2027. The first point shouldn't have been leadership. The first target, it shouldn't have leadership because leadership is a problem in Nigeria. Look at APC, a ruling party. They won an election, but they just did their first NEC meeting just about a month ago. A party in power. They are careful with leadership. They just did their first NEC after 2 years, just a month ago. But party that didn't win election that we should do more of planning are the one fighting about leadership. Is it not an aberration? The party have not been given a space to project electoral reform in the National Assembly. Because with all this fight, the party couldn't do their work. So the first point shouldn't have been leadership. Also, 2027, if Mr. Peter Obi wants, and that is where I feel terrible with Nigerian politicians. It's about self. It's about me. It's not about we. Because if it is about we, this leadership crisis shouldn't have been the first. You should have allowed the party to consolidate. I can assure you that if you had allowed the party to consolidate, and possibly towards this year, December, or 2026, January, because all of us are bonded. Why is rape called rape? You force a woman against her will. If you bond with a woman, the same thing could happen somewhere without anybody knowing about it. If we had bonded as a party, did this retreat, did this a lot of convocations and meetings and bonding, because all of us felt injured in the last election, including me, who is now the devil. I followed the campaign to every state, shouting. At some point, they banned me from entering Lagos that I insulted MC Oluomo. Did I fight with MC Oluomo? Is he my enemy? Have I dragged anything with him before? But because I believe in the candidacy of Peter Obi, I threw some jabs against the MC Oluomo, and my picture was being spread across Lagos parks that, look at this young man. Who is he to be challenging MC Oluomo? In the campaigns, the pictures are viral everywhere. If I was killed, who will honor my wife and my children, little children that I have? So who is the devil here? There is no devil. The devil are those that are advised for this leadership issue. Those that are advised. 2027 you will run. No? You have to, the chairmanship have to come from the north. Okay. Where was the chairmanship when we pulled 6-point-something million votes? Where were those people when Nigeria produced a Muslim ticket? Where were they? Politics is about strategy, planning, and execution. You don't expose your family outside. They have exposed Labour Party so much. And I'm not happy with it.
We have seen discussions about possible political coalitions ahead of the 2027 election. Like you said, 2027 is far, but we see it's a little time to the general elections. Some even suggest that Peter Obi is actively involved in this coalition. For the Labour Party, are you in talks about aligning and collaborating with other political parties to unseat the APC?
I am not speaking for the Labour Party, but with the little I know, Labour Party have never had any meeting of merger. Because Labour Party is a brand, it's an international brand. We will not lose that name. But if it's for the interests of Nigeria, that all the opposition parties agrees to support one candidate, if it is for the interest, genuine interest, not selfish interest of Nigeria, if it is for genuine interest of Nigerians, I can assure you that Labour Party will comply.
So is Labour Party happy with the leadership of the APC as it stands currently?
We are not happy. Are we supporting APC? We are among the people fighting APC. We are among the people condemning the one. You have heard me severally where I say that this government has failed. And it has failed. And I'll continue to say that this government has failed Nigerians. And of course, we saw the handwriting on the wall. When the man couldn't tell us what he is going to do for Nigerians. Did he say it? He didn't say what he was coming to do.
Now, some quarters have also said that this crisis in the Labour Party, just like you have in several opposition parties, is one crisis you keep fighting, dealing with until the next election, because some of your leaders have been bought over, so they must sustain this crisis.
It's possible. I will agree to that, because if you look at after the election, by now you should have known those that have faith in the party. By now, you should have known those that have faith in the party. For example, you can't compare somebody that have married for 10 years without breaking to somebody that married for 3 years without breaking. The person that married for 10 years without breaking have passed through a lot. But the person that married 3 years, maybe in the 4th year, he would divorce the wife. So if you look at this crisis, many of them that ran an election, including those that won an election under the party, have defected to APC. And do you know one funny thing? Like in my state, we have, in fact, I went and said that this man is the apex leader of the party. A senator. That is the apex leader of the party. The next month, that senator, in fact, we gave him, the local government chairman of the party, he brought. The secretary of the party in the state, he brought. He brought the ward chairman of the party. Do you know what happened? After 1 month, this man left the party and carried that structure to that party. And Labour Party came to 0 point again. We start looking for people that... So these politicians we have in Nigeria are the problem. If after the 2023, many of them have left the party, then some of us still stand and defending the party. Who do you think loves the party more?
All right.
And I'm open to investigation to know if APC have ever given me fund or supported me in anything. The same thing, you can go and investigate Abure. Abure has spent 22 years in the party. Who do you think loves the party more than people that have just spent 2 years in the party?
I will definitely keep our eyes on what is unfolding within
I spent 10 years now in the party. And I'm still standing because I decided to be in the party. I decided to stand with Labour Party. And I made up my mind after reading manifestos of political parties in 2016, after the passage of Not Too Young to Run Bill. That was when I started my journey with Labour Party. And since then, I've been in Labour Party.
Thank you very much for your thoughts.
We thank you so much for your thoughts, and we hope to see reconciliatory moves within your party ahead of the 2027 general election. We must thank you so much for your time with us.
Thank you so
Kennedy.
much. I appreciate TVC.
Thank you.
For always making our voice heard.
And we'll always hear from all sides.
Thank you.
It's our duty.
Thank you.
Well, that's our package from here in Abuja. It's back to you in Lagos.
Yeah, he doesn't. All right, thank you so much, as usual, behind the scenes from Lagos. But thank you, TJ Sue and Esha Momo, for that insightful interview you had there talking about party supremacy. But back here in Lagos, it's time now for Trend.